What's up, allhiphop.com? My name is Don Pooh. This is Brooklyn Chop House, Times Square. Welcome to our restaurant. I'd like to take you inside and show you all 5 floors, 25,000 square feet, the largest black-owned establishment in New York City at the moment. We're gonna try some of my signature dishes, which I'm sure you guys are gonna like. The dishes that's made us famous and put us on the map. So welcome to Brooklyn Chop House.
What's going on, world? It's your man Chuck Creekmer, aka Jigsaw. Allhiphop.com is at the Brooklyn Chop House, and we are here with none other than the owner, the man, Robert Don Pooh Cummins. Now it's hard for me to say your name, your name, because Don Pooh has rang out in hip hop for so long.
That's what's up.
Yeah, but thanks for having us, man.
Oh, thanks for this opportunity to interview with you guys. I did something a long time ago. I want to go back 23 years when I was first starting out in the game. They did a nice article, for me, so I appreciate that. So 23 years later, we're here now.
Yeah,
so
man, that's been a minute, man. A lot has happened since then.
Yeah. I think it was a new executive spotlight. Something you had that spotlight. Oh no, it was about management. I think it was when I started my management company.
Oh, that's what's up. We're gonna have to talk about that a little bit later because all hip hop's turning 25, and we're gonna have a blowout celebration next year. So
all right, we gotta do it here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you gotta shut this down and celebrate that, man. That's a huge milestone. Congratulations.
You. Yeah, I appreciate that. But no, for you, congratulations, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's been amazing watching your journey, not only in music but transitioning into other industries can be really hard for executives as well as people in music in general, and a lot of people sort of hold on to the old ways or resisting diversity or changing. Talk about your first of all, sort of your pathway to being a restaurateur, or what's the word? Hospitality?
Restaurateur, hospitality.
Yeah.
Because it's basically more than just selling food. It's hospitality, it's customer service, it's entertainment.
Right.
I think the entertainment industry, music, fashion, film, is synonymous with the hospitality industry, which is servicing places where you entertain and you have those type of clients, and where the industry often celebrates their wins and their new products and everything that they have going on. So just coming up in the music industry, it was synonymous. I used to celebrate at whatever the hot restaurant was when I had a client in town, when a single dropped, when a video dropped. So to me, like, they're both synonymous.
Yeah, and a lot
and not only that, the backdrop for most of the restaurants is hip hop or R&B or music is the backdrop to most of these cooler, fine dining establishments.
That's true. Now we're eventually going to walk through this restaurant of yours, but talk about the ambiance and the vibes when you walk in.
Oh yeah, so we took it up a level. This was prior a Buffalo Wild Wings, so we took what we thought would be a cool landscape, a cool position, a cool design, right? And we picked something different than what we did in our first restaurant at 150 Nassau. That's more quaint, cozy. If you know about it, you know about it. No big signage. So we decided to do a little something different in Times Square, since it's Times Square, but elevated to a cooler vibe. Obviously, a great playlist because we combine our customer service with the soundtrack of hip hop and R&B in the background. So we have a great playlist, and the aesthetic. We just put really fine materials, and we redesigned the place to have that feel. A little bit of hip hop. There's a couple of hip hop sayings and quotes that we have in the neons on the wall. We incorporated, a few other elements of hip hop in the building. So we're excited, and we're glad that it's being well received.
Now, looking at your Instagram, it's super. I hope this doesn't make me sound old, but lit. Super, super lit.
I use lit too. My kids are like, look at that, using the cool words.
Right, right. But it is a who's who of music, entertainment, celebrity. A lot of people frequent your establishment, and not just this one, but all of them. Can you talk about the combining of the two? This mind state of customer service, and then connecting it with the celebrity clientele.
Well, that's worked great for us because they're usually the tastemakers, from music to places to go, things to do, things that they talk about and rap about in their music, whether it's restaurants, cars, clothes. So they're really the tastemakers. So I was fortunate enough to be in the music industry for quite some time, develop some relationships, which I still have them all today.
Right.
I have had some success with a lot of prominent artists that I came up with. And one thing that's great is that, when we celebrate our wins and they come and support, and, they love the cuisine. They love the decor. I keep it, cozy and comfortable and private when they need to be. They've celebrated, some of their launches and products and albums with us. So through those relationships over the years, I've combined that with what I have now, and it's definitely been working out really well for me. And a lot of times they're coming on their own. They hear about it. They support, and I support back whatever they're doing, in their endeavors. So it's really been good to see that and to show that to people that can be done when you have a Black-owned restaurant. You have a lot of support from the people that you kind of came up with.
So what made you name it Brooklyn? Like, why not New York Chop Out? Like, why not?
So Brooklyn is a brand, right?
Yeah.
So I like to say that I bring Brooklyn everywhere I go. So, and I go all the way back to when I used to be on the road in my earlier days with Biggie. Like, he'd be in clubs. This is early on when he was grinding. Just had 1 or 2 singles out, and we'd be doing these club runs in different cities, and he'd yell, "Is Brooklyn in the house?"
Right.
And somebody would say, "Brooklyn, I'm in here." Yo, we'd be in Denver, Colorado. I swear to you, we'd be in Oakland, California. We'll be in Louisiana, like New Orleans, and somebody would be like, "Yeah, Brooklyn's in here." We just always said, "Wow, there's somebody from Brooklyn traveling everywhere." So, Brooklyn's always been in my blood, born and raised there. I have several other businesses in Brooklyn. That's how I got my start. So initially with the place 150 Nassau, our first location, we just said it's so close to the Brooklyn Bridge that we just want to put Brooklyn in it. We want to put a Brooklyn in the title. And it's almost like you said, it kind of doesn't make sense. And the fact that someone says it doesn't make sense, I got you talking about the brand.
Right.
I already got you talking about it. Like, why is Brooklyn in Manhattan? Right, oh, well, but I made you talk about Brooklyn Chop Out. So it's kind of like a marketing play in the same token, and it feels right. It feels like a brand. And then when we call the name back, it feels like it's something that was here since the 1800s, like Brooklyn Chop House. It sounds branded already, even though we're creating a brand.
Definitely. You talked a little bit about Biggie. I wore my Biggie chain today. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
Yeah. So can you speak on him a little bit? And
Absolutely.
What your relationship was like with Biggie?
Yeah. So I actually met Biggie in the early 90s. So I used to go to school in DC, and Puff and my boy Mark Pitts was also at that school. So we formed a relationship from back then. Puff was throwing parties. He was a dancer. I think for Heavy D or Dougie Fresh, he
Right.
used to dance for. And we formed a relationship. So when he left and he became an intern at Uptown Records, he started doing A&Ring for different artists. I think he was working on Father MC, then Mary J. Blige, then I think he might have did some A&R, a Heavy album, then Jodeci, and then he kept going on and on. And I kept watching this kid, and then he got, let go by Uptown. He started his own label, Bad Boy. So he started his own label, Bad Boy. I kept following him and watching his rise and what he was doing as an entrepreneur. And it made me interested about being in the music business and kind of, following his footsteps, because I was really intrigued about, the rise, his path and the way he was going and having so much success, one after another. So he signed Biggie, and then Mark was managing Biggie at the time. So I said, I want to learn the business. So Mark said, come on with me, learn. So got with Mark and Biggie, and we kind of went on the road. Biggie actually blew up, obviously. So I was able to learn through being on the road with him and kind of, assisting the management team. So it gave me the inspiration to want to start my own company. So then me and Big hit it off. We gamble on the road. I don't know if it was, I think it was in Source Magazine, a picture of me and him gambling against each other.
What was y'all playing? CeeLo?
We was playing CeeLo. We used to go hard. We used to play a G or roll.
Oh,
Big,
my.
Yeah. We used to go in. Okay. So Big used to love playing with me while we were on the road or wherever we are. It was fun. Just, I'll lose to him and be happy because he'll come back and give me a chance to win it back. Same with me. So we became, it became that brotherhood with him and his team and close friends and Junior Mafia, while we were out there. So, and he took to me. I wasn't really didn't grow up with him or was in his group, but he just took to me and we kind of hit it off, man. And I miss that kid.
What do you think about you he gravitated to?
I don't know. Maybe it's the realness. I was a real guy. When real things happen, the real dudes reacted. So, we were in the trenches together, grinding together. And, it was a love that he had for, Mark, and, me and Mark was close. So, we just, hit it off.
Yeah. Now, did you say you went to Howard?
Yeah, I went to Howard for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I went there for a couple of years, and then I left out, shortly after Puff left, and I left. And then kind of we all came and started to jump into the music game.
It's like its own little mafia. Howard,
Yeah, there's a lot of shout out to D-Dot. He was down there, Hard Pierre, a couple of my brother, China, Greg, shout out to him. So we was, we was all down there grinding. Our boy Jonah, shout out to him.
How did you continue the path, in music?
Good question.
Yeah.
So through that relationship that I started having with Big, people in the neighborhood started to recognize, you running with Big, right? Whether it was something that made a magazine or saw me in a picture or saw me at the Source Awards with him, my friend Anton used to get his hair cut at my barbershop. I was always trying to be an entrepreneur. So I had a barbershop on Washington Avenue.
Okay.
Not too far from where Biggie grew up, right? Yeah. So Big would come through every now and then, say what's up to the guys. And at the same time, my boy Anton used to get his hair cut by a barber that I had called G. Okay. So G said, yo, my guy got, his sister raps. I want you to hear her. I was like, okay, cool. So he brought her over. She rhymed for me at a Land Cruiser. She sat in my car, and she rapped for me. And I was like, oh, you're dope. I think I want to work with you. So at the time, her name was AKA, and she was signing Capitol Records, but she had just got dropped off the label. Okay. And she was looking for, to figure out a new situation. So me and her hit it off, and then I decided to manage her, and then we changed her name to Foxy Brown.
Yeah.
So at that point, we were grinding, doing demos. My boy, so I had a couple of relationships. Aside from Big, other people I knew in this record business, and one of them was Clark Kent. Mm-hmm. So I'd go to him, do some demos with him, and I'll go around different places and do demos. And then the big break came when the track masters, shout out to Tone and Polk and Steve Stout, they was working on LL's album with Chris Lighty, and they had one track that they said was left, and there's a spot left on this record called I Shot Ya.
Yeah.
So that record I Shot Ya had Fat Joe,
Yeah.
Prodigy from Von Deep, Keith Murray, LL, and they had one more slot. It was like, jump on this record and we're gonna see what LL thinks. So it's interesting how the world works. Like LL's a good friend of mine, Fat Joe. So we jumped on the record, and LL heard it, and he said, "You know what? I like that that girl. She got a deep voice, kind of sound like Shaheem from Wu-Tang. Leave her on there."
Right.
Left her on there. Record comes out. It was the B-side to Hey Lover. He had a single called Hey Lover with Boyz II Men. That record was the B-side, but Hey Lover was such like a kind of like a poppy kind of record. They wanted to now do a street gritty record to balance it out.
Yeah.
And they shot a video to it, which they didn't normally shoot a video to the B-side. That's kind of like my story, the B-sides. I'm gonna share another story with you too. Okay. So they shot a video to this B-side, and everyone started going crazy because they see this sexy girl kicking it, and who is this girl kind of keeping up with, the dudes that's really getting it in, like Fat Joe, Keith Murray, LL, they get it in.
They were going in.
Yeah, so she kind of kept up. Then now, I was shopping the demo for a while. I wasn't getting no response. I went to Puff earlier. He was like, "Nah, I'm good." Went to everyone that I knew in the industry through my relationship with Big. Then after that came out, the bidding war started. It was like one of the biggest deals at that moment that we signed. We ended up going with Def Jam with Russell Simmons and Chris Lighty, and it was a great. That was kind of like my entry into the game through my own management company.
Right.
So I managed her for several years. She went on to do really big things. One of the the hottest females in the game. And she really, really, put the work in, and, the first two albums were a classic, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, for
sure.
El
Nana and China Doll.
Absolutely.
Classics.
You did work with Mary as well, like on the No More Drama project.
Yeah, so I met Mary, and when we talk about B-sides, right? So we did this record called Touch Me, Tease Me. Yeah. So Case's record, with Mary singing the hook and Foxy Brown rhyming on it. So that was really when I met Mary, 90, that was like around 95, 94, 95. Yeah. And didn't work with her at that point, right? She was already who she was. She already dropped What's the 411 My Life. She was already huge. But then I had an opportunity to be an executive vice president at MCA Records around 1999. And then they decided a good fit for me. They had other A&Rs at the label. A good fit for me would be for me to take on the Mary J. Blige project. I was a little nervous because that's like, that's a big undertaking. Puff, everyone that worked with Mary, and I couldn't mess this up.
Right.
So we hit it off. Obviously, we didn't know that, but we ended up hitting it off, and then I helped co-executive produce her No More Drama album, which is one of her most successful albums. And I found this record actually by Dr. Dre, Family Affair, which is one of her biggest singles. And the album went on to sell millions across the world, earned her first Grammy, a record on the album. And then, we just started, heading in a great direction.
Nice.
So that was a good moment for me.
Now I don't want to jump around too much, but when did you exit the music industry? At that time frame. So you touched on it earlier when people, just keep trying to beat the horse. So like around 2004, I decided that I wanted to diversify. Yeah. Always kept one foot in the game. I actually did another deal with a young lady named Winter Gordon that I signed to my company, and did a joint venture with Atlantic, and she came out with a top 10 hit with Flow Rider, and then she went on to be a great writer in her career.
So I kept one foot in, right? But still I wanted to diversify. So I opened up a nightclub called Rain in Brooklyn, which a lot of, like Brooklyn Chop House, a lot of my celebrity relationships, they all came through and they would hang out there. So that was great for a few years. But I just thought that with all the downloading and everything happening and things getting leaked and, record sales was kind of on a downturn, that I, switch up the game, diversify, and do something different. So I got into franchising.
Right.
So I started out doing Papa John's Pizza. I did it, 8 of those. And then we did, I got the opportunity to open an IHOP in Brooklyn. Yeah. And that IHOP ended up being one of the most successful IHOPs out of 1,700 IHOPs in the country. Right. And I kind of knew that was going to happen, strangely enough, because Brooklyn was an underserved market. Yeah. Again, Brooklyn. And growing up, I would go to Long Island, I'd go to New Jersey, or I'd go to Manhattan for something good to eat, or my parents would take me, right? But I was wondering, why is there nothing good in Brooklyn? What's wrong? We're having something cool. Where's the Red Lobster in Brooklyn? Where's the, the nice I have in Brooklyn? Where's the nice restaurant? So slowly, obviously over time, all of those things came. Right. So I got an opportunity to open one there. I did it. And then I did a development deal, took the rights to all of Brooklyn, and opened 4 more, 3 now, but I opened 4 total. And that was kind of my way of diversifying out of the music business, because at that point I felt the music business was, a little bit unstable. One minute you hot, one minute you're not. You always as hot as whatever you put out. Yeah. Then you always got to prove yourself over and over again, and nothing wrong with that. I love the challenge, but I just wanted to have some balance of something that I control. That my franchises can never fire me. I own them. Yeah. They don't own me, right? Yeah. So I always thought about just balancing it out, whether it was real estate or businesses that had systems in place. There was a proven model and something that I could depend on, and something that was a safer investment, right? For me. And I was fortunate in the music business, because a lot of things that I took on end up working out. Yeah. And in things that I invested in, but it's not always that way. There was some artists that didn't make it, right? Yeah. You really a lot of times only hear about the big ones.
Right. Most don't make it. Most don't.
Yeah. So I had a good batting average of the ones that, I picked that did, kind of, went on to, do great things. Like Shine. I signed Shine to my company. Shout out to Shine. He's doing great things in his country. Shout out to Shine and Blige. That's like my brother. I'm just so proud of him.
He's running for office. When the elections?
Couple. He's running in probably a couple of years. He's setting himself up. Okay. He's bringing a lot of notoriety to his country through his relationships. Absolutely. He's been able to come back and talk to a lot of government officials about bringing tourism and development and the arts, and there's also artists there that he's trying to help with awareness of those artists. So he's doing great things. So I discovered him. Yeah. Did a deal with Bad Boy. Discovered him in the barbershop.
So wait, let me ask you something. Now you said you discovered him. Then there's a resemblance. A lot of people say to Biggie. Was that intentional, or was that just something that you did you recognize that, or was that just something that came out later?
I think that's something, because initially when he first was rhyming for me, he always had that deep tone. That's his voice. Yeah. Right. And as you could hear, that's his voice. So it wasn't. They're not really alike, but kind of alike. I can't really put my hand on it, but it wasn't intentional. Right. It just so happened that was a short time after Big had passed, and now you got this guy from Brooklyn that kind of has this, like a little bit of a rhythm. It's a little different though. Yeah. His style is different. What he rhymes about is actually different. Like Big's metaphors were like, oh my God, out of this world. Right. And the way Big told a story was different than the way Shine told a story, but all people heard was like the right. So once that you get that tone, the tone was the same, but the rhyme style was actually a little different.
I don't think Shine got any flack really. I think people saw Diddy, Shine, and then kind of
correct. That's what it really spawned. It's like, oh, you trying to recreate Biggie because of that Tone, that's what it was. But Shine didn't really get any flack. It was probably mostly the label I was signed to because Big was also on the same label. So I have to agree.
So, as I'm thinking about it, I'm looking at, when I first moved to New York and some of my eating habits back in the day, and I'm thinking maybe you were shaping how we were eating a lot of times, because IHOP was super cool to congregate at, you know, and I don't really remember them being cool other than that little zone. So were you doing that intentionally?
So what I did do now that you say that, I did build and convince IHOP corporate to build more non-traditional units, right? So um, and I actually asked them, can I put artwork on the wall that symbolizes um, images of Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Bridge, hip hop. So I was able to incorporate some of that in the restaurant um, as a kind of like to show love to the region that we're from, the neighborhood that we're in, and it kind of worked out. So my restaurant was in the traditional. None of them are traditional blue roof freestanding. Because we're in more in an urban landscape, so there's not a lot of land to develop. So we took end caps like commercial spaces at the end of different strip malls or different blocks, and we created a different looking type of an IHOP, right? So, and it felt different. I did like a VIP room, right? So I incorporated some of my entertainment and things that I traveled and I saw that was cool. I kind of put it in IHOP. So I had like a VIP room, which was also a room that different corporations could do like lunch and breakfast meetings. I set it up. I put flat screens in there. So we're going back when flat screens were starting to become cool and relevant in like the mid 2000s. So they could do PowerPoint presentations and things like that. So I put a little twist on it, and it was well received, and it ended up working out really well. And I just like, I just asked permission just to make it a little more, slightly more upscale than your traditional IHOP. And they came up with like a new design package simultaneously at the same time, which kind of worked out for me.
Now you, if I'm not mistaken, you're franchising Brooklyn Chop House now. Like, so are you? Or am I wrong?
Yeah. So
Okay.
So Brooklyn Chop House is fully owned by myself and my partner David Thomas and my operating director of operations Stratis Morfogen. So, we launched this brand in 2018, and this is our second location. We have another one opening up in Abu Dhabi in November. For Formula One.
Wow.
And then we're looking at locations in Miami and Vegas. So it's not a franchise. It's fully owned and operated by us, but we have a sister company. It's called Brooklyn Dumpling Shop.
Yeah.
So what we did was the dumplings were pretty much a hit here. So we figured out a quick service version of Brooklyn Chop House called Brooklyn Dumpling Shop.
Gotcha.
So we opened up in 2021, May, and we have a certain technology which we call zero human interaction. We brought back the automat, which is a locker system that dispenses your order. So basically what you do is you order on your phone or the kiosk, the order goes into the kitchen, you get a barcode on your phone, or the delivery service, Uber Eats or DoorDash, the driver gets a barcode when they come to pick up the order. Once the order is ready, you get a notification. You either get a notification with a code or your barcode, and then you scan it on our locker system, and the locker automatically opens up. And we have lockers that keep the food at a hot temperature and lockers that keep, things that are cold. So once you scan the barcode, it opens up. You don't have to speak to anybody. You don't have to talk to anybody. It's already in your bag, ready to go. And when the locker closes, we hit it with a UV light, and we sanitize it and get it ready for the next order. And what's so interesting about that, we came up with this idea not because of COVID.
Right.
It was just an idea for speed and convenience. But it also happened to be very COVID-friendly concept.
Yeah.
So a lot of other developers, franchisees of other concepts that were, I guess, looking to either, diversify into more franchises, they really took a look at our concept, and we sold about 100 units to date that's going to be being developed over the next 5 years. So far, we're looking to hit probably 200 by the end of the year. Wow. We have a lot of franchise development deals that we've done that comprises to about 100 units over the next 5 years. And our first franchisee opened in Connecticut, Stores, Connecticut, on the University of Connecticut campus. That was that's the first franchise location other than our corporate store at 131 First Avenue in St. Mark's, on St. Mark's Place in New York City, Lower Manhattan. And then we have 4 more opening in the next month. In September and October, we have Staten Island ready to go. Yeah. We have Queens Plaza Mall ready to go. We have Hoboken, New Jersey. And then we have Garden City, Long Island.
Wow, that's crazy. A lot of people are mystified by business. They look at Instagram or they'll read a story or a video and they find it hard. Can you talk a little bit about sort of the difficult times and sort of the struggle? Because entrepreneurship is pretty difficult.
So I got a lot of doors slammed in my face. Obviously, I wanted to do a lot of things. And when, preparation meets opportunity, that's when you have the most chance for success. Mm-hmm. When you're prepared and the opportunity presents itself, because you could be prepared and don't have an opportunity, or the opportunity could come and you're not prepared and you can't even get in the game. Yeah. Right? So when the two meet each other, it usually presents an opportunity to get in the game, actually. Yeah. Right? So that's been the difficulty, and the difficulty for a lot of, entrepreneurs is when they're not prepared. They want to do something, but they're not prepared, or they're prepared, but they don't get the opportunity, or something might not be right. You don't have enough experience. Yeah. So what I learned from the franchise business is that to qualify, they set the bar kind of high, right? Yeah, so, in our community, oftentimes our credit might not be as pristine. Mm-hmm. Our, net worth might not be where it needs to be to qualify. Our experience in that specific field that you want to get approved in, not just, restaurant or food franchises. There's tons of different franchises. Absolutely. From cleaning services to, delivery services. Just so many different franchise opportunities, but oftentimes they would like you to have all of the above, right? They want you to have the net worth, the experience, and, the credit to kind of, sustain yourself to, in case you're not able to deliver at first. Because no franchise, in the franchisor's defense, now that I graduated from franchisee to franchisor, right? I also have those requirements because I want a certain level of, business person to be able to handle the opportunity that I'm putting before them, because it's my brand that you're working with. So I understand from that standpoint, but everything is not always perfect. So sometimes if I see, I look a little deeper. Sometimes if I see that you have the experience and you have the determination to want to succeed, maybe you don't have the net worth. So maybe you need to get a partner to join you, like a capital investment partner to join you. We put a team together and we make it work, right? Or, I lower the requirement in order to get you in to take a chance, and then I get a consultant to help walk you through everything. So there's ways to kind of bridge that gap and give people opportunities. That's one of the things that I'm passionate about, and even with IHOP, we're trying to get more minority participation and ownership even in the IHOP brand. So we formed a committee that we meet every month to figure out how to get more minority participation in companies like IHOP, and figure out how to help bridge that gap that's necessary to get them approved.
Yeah. How did you manage to keep, in music, if you're hot, and then if you're not, or people don't seem to have any use for you, they may not even talk to you or whatever. Did you ever experience that in the business?
It's so funny you say that. Yeah, I had a couple of experiences like that when, not when I decided to diversify. I've been having a great streak for a minute.
You're on a roll.
But it was when I think I stopped working with Foxy Brown, and then my phone would ring all the time, right? But at that moment, it was about maybe a year. My phone wouldn't ring as much because all the deals would come. Oh, I need it for that. I need it for that. I need it for that. And then I would reach out to someone saying, I'm doing this, or I got this new artist. Yeah. They're like, okay. But did Foxy still want to like? So it was strange how people outside of the music business perceive you when you're hot and when you're attached to things that could help them, but when you're not, some people, seem to kind of treat you different.
Yeah.
Right? So, it's unfortunate, but the music business.
Yeah, yeah. Now, we saw you, pull up in the Rolls Royce truck.
No doubt. I've been grinding a long time to get that, by the way.
Understood. I'm always fascinated by people who accomplish their goals or their dreams are starting to manifest. How does that feel for you? Like to see, to buy that truck, that's a big deal. And it's a material item, you know what I'm saying? So It's not the item itself, but like more what it represents. You know what I mean? Or could be the item itself.
Kind of. I would say it's kind of a trophy. I mean, it's not really something that, I could live without it, but it's something that I wanted. I'm a car guy. Yeah. Right. So it's something that me and my friends, a couple of my friends have them. Something that we wanted. I was always into cars. So anybody would tell you that know me, like, I don't know, maybe I own 40 something cars in my life. So that's something that I just like. Right. Like some people in, different things. I'm getting into art, but some people are into art. So those are their trophies. They could have, a $250,000 piece, $1 million, I don't know, 10, 20, 30, but that's just what they're into. So I'm starting to want to collect more cars. Okay. I'm going, to probably get a few pieces from the 80s and 90s. Okay. Them paid in full kind of vehicles that we was rocking. Right. On 8th Avenue and, down in Brooklyn on Fulton Street back in the days. So I'm probably going to collect a couple of those, but it feels good that I could do that part too, right? That I could now reach out and get things that I could, that I'm passionate about, that, just fun, like a hobby. Yeah. So, that's one thing, but, What
was your dream car? What, like when you were, let's say 16, what were you looking like? Yo, I want that.
I wanted a Ferrari. Right, when I was a kid, because the sports car just represented, just everything, like luxury, speed, style, like hot. All the girls like that car. So I always wanted a Ferrari, but as I got older, I wanted cars that still had that engine, that like I wanted the big cars that go fast, really, and drive nice. Right. So, like the 600 Mercedes, things like that. Like I kind of traded that sports car thing into a luxury performance car thing. Got it. Like the best luxury sedan or vehicle or SUV. Like I love that that Urus. I don't have one, but I love that. That's kind of cool. So I like cool luxury cars that go fast, even though I don't drive fast.
Right.
When somebody come up and want to test me,
Yeah, and I'm sure it got kicked.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for young business people?
Absolutely. Don't quit.
Mm-hmm.
Never give up on your dreams. It's never going to be easy. No one said it was. You can't stop. You're going to get told, no, you can't do this. No, you can't do that. And just my experience, they told me female rappers didn't sell.
Yeah.
I stuck with I got that from, I'm not going to name names, but I got that from the best of the best. That's still the best today. Told me female rappers don't sell. Don't waste your time. I stuck with it, broke the mold. Got a female rapper that sold records. They told me franchising, it's not really cool. Like, what you going to do? Like flip burgers. Like, that's not cool. But, I went with my gut or flip pies at Papa John's. So I went with my gut, and it wasn't about, they didn't see my vision. It wasn't about having one. It was about having multiple, building brands, hiring people, providing jobs. So it was a bigger, incentive for me than just, having the business. Like, we hire over 400 people throughout, all of my companies. And that's really the goal. Like, the cars is cool, but the satisfaction that we're employing a lot of people, and people are feeding their families, and hopefully I could be an inspiration or example to other people that want to get into the franchise or own their own brand or business or restaurant or whatever business there is. Just the same way I was inspired by others that were doing it before me in the music industry, and other restaurateurs and business people that inspired me to want to take the shot. But at the end of the day, my advice is just don't give up. You don't know what's going to win and what's going to work.
Yeah, that's one of my phrases. I never learned to give up. That was what at one point I had to say that over and over in my head.
Yeah, you're going to have the dark days. You're going to have the, oh man, everybody thinks this is a bad idea. And some ideas are bad. Let's keep it real. Yeah. Like you take the advice of people too, and then make your own decision. But it's, sometimes I'm a little stubborn because I would hear it from people that I kind of trusted their advice, but I said I was hard-headed in some things, and sometimes I listen. Yeah. So you just can't quit, or you change it up a little bit. You do a different version of what you set out to do.
So I have a question that just popped in my head. Why was it important to make that pose, the Jay-Z recreation pose, in front of the rolls?
So it was Jay is like, oh my God, he's just like a legend. It's a couple of things. So it came to me after. This is deep what I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
This is really deep.
It's deep. Let's do it.
Jay is going to actually appreciate this if he ever hears this. So I got my first apartment in Jersey, right? Mid-90s, right? I was living in Hackensack. Jay had an apartment in New Jersey too. He had moved to Jersey. I think he was in Fort Lee, right? So there was rumors, like, I think after he had success with his first album, and he did the deal with Def Jam, did a co-venture deal with Def Jam, that he had bought a Rolls Royce, right? I think it was a two-door Anew, if I'm not mistaken. So he was driving down West Side Highway. I think I was in my Land Cruiser, and I pulled up on the side of him because obviously, we have history from Foxy and Jay-Z doing Ain't No. And to take it all the way back, I'm going to get back to the story, but I'm going to touch on the B-side scenario. So that was actually the B-side to his first single. Oh my God!
Can't knock.
No. Oh man, I should be ashamed of myself. The one where he was in the white GS. He shot it in Brooklyn.
We're failing the hip hop.
No, we are. We're definitely messed up right now.
Google it. Help.
I'm like, no, I got presidents to represent me.
Oh, right.
Dead presidents.
Yeah. All right.
So
I got that single.
I got it, Jay. So I figured it out. I figured it out, Jay. So Dead Presidents. So there was the B-side, Ain't No, right? That record they shot a video to, and that also became an instrumental record, another B-side,
Right.
to create the heat for Foxy for us to get that deal. So we had 2 B-sides with 2 videos.
Gotcha.
So back to coming down the West Side Highway now. So today I drove down the West Side Highway.
Yeah.
Right? In a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, maybe 20-something years later. So he was in his Rolls Royce. When I seen him that day, and I was like, wow, dude is doing really good, right? And he's not traditionally not, had a lot of cars, and, he did things a lot differently, right?
Yeah.
He took his time, built his businesses, and now he can get whatever car, he wants to get. So I took a lot out of that, the way he moved in life. He didn't just get, every time something came out, he didn't go grab it. He was more grinding, setting his team up,
Right.
building his brand. That's another inspiration in how he builds his businesses. So as I'm going down the West Side Highway, I'm like, that pose that he did in his Rolls Royce, I want to recreate that same pose.
Yeah.
Plus, he's from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I do everything Brooklyn.
Right.
And that's what gave me the inspiration to want to do that shot in front of the Rolls. And then, he had it on his album cover.
Yeah.
So, the front is like my album cover.
Okay.
Right? The front of the restaurant. So that's what gave me the thoughts to kind of, the inspiration behind that shot was that moment that I saw him on the West Side Highway.
Yeah.
Then I found myself driving on the West Side Highway all these many years later in the same kind of car. So that's what made me think of
That's
that.
what's up. We're going to Photoshop that real nice for you.
Okay.
Real nice. I promise
Thank you.
It's going
Thank
to
you.
look immaculate.
Thank you.
So real quick, run through sort of the offerings here at the Brooklyn Chop House and what culinary delights you offer.
So Brooklyn Chop House is chopsticks meets chopsteaks. So we have American side of the menu, from your tomahawk steaks, from our purveyor, Pat LaFreda, who also services, your Mastros, your Del Friscos of the world, some of the top branded, steakhouses we've all frequented and come to love. But so we use the same purveyor. We put a slight twist on it, not too much.
Right.
Simple, the way, the American steaks are cooked. And we have, our ribeye, our porterhouse steaks, our, we have, some of the best cuts there is. We have our, Colorado lamb chops, which we're going to try. That's sitting right over there. We're going to, take a stab at that. And obviously, I got to show you the menu to see what you want. But on the Asian side of the menu, we have, something you might be familiar with from a couple other restaurants. We have chicken saute.
Okay.
We have all of our dumplings. We have tons of shrimp dishes, tons of fried rice dishes. We have seafood, our 4-pound salt and pepper lobster. Nice. We have our North Atlantic sea bass. We have our new salmon dish. We have soup that I just added to the menu, chicken wonton soup.
Okay.
We have pork dishes for people that love that. And we have, just a variety of different appetizers and lettuce wraps, and just a nice variety of sweet, savory, and spicy foods and recipes.
Okay. Have you had any surprises pop up in here? Any like, shoot.
I had Jamie Foxx come in here one time and walk through the restaurant for 30 minutes on his live.
Wow.
That was like amazing.
That's
and I met him before, but I wasn't so cool with him. But he was just so amazed that he's like, brother, you own this? Yeah. He's like, hold on a second. He took his phone out and he went through the restaurant for 30 minutes and touched every table in the restaurant.
Wow.
Like he just came to eat dinner.
Yeah.
But then he met me. We just started talking for a minute. He was like, give me a second. Like, just give me a second. He's like, talk to everybody on my live right now.
Wow.
Like he did, you couldn't buy that kind of press.
No.
Then he reposted, we posted. It made, the papers, It went, borderline viral. So he'd go up to the table and he's like, I hope you on live. I hope y'all supposed to be together tonight. Right? I hope y'all supposed to be together. I want to blow you up. He's like, nah. Everybody was excited. Yeah. Everybody was calling there. People, yo, Jamie Foxx is in here. And it was like a random night. It was like a Wednesday night. Right? But everyone, the look and the smiles on everyone's faces, like he went to the bar. He went back around, came back upstairs. So that was one of the biggest surprises because that wasn't planned. Then he stayed the whole night. We partied. He started singing. He started singing at the bar. He had a little banjo or something. He had. He had a beat, like a box. Okay. He had like almost like the old school boxes, but he was like playing, like he was hitting music. He was playing it throughout the restaurant. Okay. He started playing salsa, dancing. So that was like, man, that was a moment. Like I couldn't pay for that. Right. That was kind of like $1 million in price. I couldn't pay for it, and so to this day, I'm grateful for that. And then on our grand opening, we didn't have that plan either. Like, we had my sister Mary J. Blige coming in the house. She actually hosted it with her wine, her new wine line, Sun Goddess Wines, that's kind of blowing up and selling out all over the place. And I can't keep it in stock here. We're one of the premier places that you can find Sun Goddess at. And what happened was Fat Joe, DJ SNS, started playing late night. People thought like the party was over, but for those who stayed, oh man, we just had so much fun. It was amazing. Like that also kind of went viral. So what happened was SNS started playing some Fat Joe records, and Fat Joe was like, yo, let me go up there. We all sitting together, just talking, chilling. It was the end of the night. Then Fat Joe goes up and he just starts kind of, like rapping over his records, just, kick it in, talking, shout out, shout out Don Pooh, shout out Brooklyn Chop House, I love you guys. Like, I was like, oh shit, that's really dope. That's so crazy. Just real cool, cool stuff. Then Mary goes up and she's, starts to, say some words, which was really kind words. And then she starts to, the SS starts to play her records, and then she did, and then Fat Joe and everybody, we all just start singing her records. Yeah. Then the whole crowd pulls out their phone. Everyone started getting into it, and it was not a planned moment. Right. Like the night was really, basically winding down, and these two legends, just, get on the mic, and for like a half an hour, we just rocking, partying, having a good time. Then, Angie Martinez joins us. Then Clark Kent comes up and he says, "What's up?" And then it's just like a great moment just for me, right? And just for me having a business and for them to be able to, it's their house. Yeah. Right? So whatever, like we're all like family. So that was really dope. And that wasn't planned. Another one that wasn't planned. So I think these organic moments that happen are, like you said, those are like those surprise moments that end up being like something that you're never going to forget. Nice. Then everybody else, after they saw that, why didn't I get an invite? But right, of course. So, but it came off like it was a thing. Yeah. Remember, it's just like we're coming off COVID. We're in Times Square. It's black tie. It just looked amazing.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
right.
It was that's the first thing I said to your publicist. Yeah. I was like, yo, that party was crazy. She was like, yeah, there was no press invited. I was like, yo, but it was crazy though.
Yeah, it was a crazy look. And we were just celebrating those black excellence. It was just a great moment, and everyone was happy. They were happy that, I'm here. So that was dope.
Don Pooh, I'm about to put you on the spot.
Sure, let's go.
So all hip hop, for a long, long time, we have done top 5 dead or alive. We've been doing it since Jadakiss said it. I want to get from you your top 5 dead or alive.
Of course, Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas. Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas.
Oh, dang. He just threw out all 3. Okay, all right. Okay, you just going to do it like that? All right.
Yeah, he put me on the spot. I got 2 more. One might be a tie.
I actually want to get a comment from you on why those 3. Like, you just threw them out there without even...
Yeah, and it wasn't because someone else mentioned it before. It's like a metaphor in hip-hop, and other artists talk about it. It's because a little personal to me, but I've seen the development and growth when two of the artists, obviously Big is not here, but he grew from album 1 to 2. He was different than any other artist that I've seen, and with and my reason for this is that selfishly I worked with all three of them. I worked with Nas on the Firm album with Foxy Brown, and I worked with Jay-Z with Foxy, and I worked with Biggie closely. So I would say now creatively and body of work, Jay-Z's body of work is like amazing. He was the most consistent.
Yeah.
Hit after hit. He makes to me, the best records unintentionally, just, the way he puts his story together and his lyrical content together, to me is like no other consistency. His over, I don't know, 20 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah, so, way over 20.
Yeah.
Jay knocking on 30.
Right. So to be 50-something where other rappers are still 50-something, and to be continuously able to be anticipated on, what did this guy just say? Yeah. Or when he features on something, everyone's like on edge listening to what he's going to say.
Yeah. And
he comes through each and every time, for me at least. And he doesn't try to be anybody else but himself. He's shown his growth. Yeah. And over the years, like, he's now trying to educate people, even on his last album, about, other subjects that people are scared to touch on, as far as, your business and
absolutely
things like that. So he's really elevated himself. So that's one. And then Nas, like, his style, his metaphors.
Yeah.
He's just one of the best that ever done it. And obviously, like I said, Big, to me, is the best. So, moving down the line, I like Jadakiss because he's been underrated, but obviously, rhyme for rhyme, he can go with anybody.
Absolutely.
We've seen that recently.
Yeah.
And then my fifth, I think, that also has a catalog and that can probably beat anyone in a battle rap. I'm going with Eminem.
Okay. All right.
I'm going with Eminem.
Now let's talk about this.
Yeah, so he's at a 20.
You said this was controversial, though. Why do you say that?
Because I think people with hip hop think that Eminem is like not as hot as the media or the powers that be built him up to be.
Okay.
But bro rolls his sleeves up and still can get in a rap battle and shut cats down. Like, you listen to the way he puts words together.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Like, this guy got on a record with I think it was it Kanye, Jay, and a couple other guys. I forget the record, and he held his own.
Yeah.
So I was gonna go with, and Kanye has a great body of work too.
Yeah.
He's good as well as.
So look, I'm
gonna
give
you
a
young
five
boy
more.
Drake.
I'm gonna give you because I see what you're doing. I'm gonna give you 5 more.
5 more?
Yep. I'm gonna give you 5 more.
Okay, 5 more.
I'm gonna give you 5 more. I'm gonna give you a top 10. This has never been done before.
A top 10.
I think we did it one time before.
Okay, you really put me on
then
the spot.
You're not,
so top 10. I'm gonna have to go.
And you can what?
I'm gonna have to put Kanye in there.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to put LL in there.
LL, yeah. Shout out.
LL, shout out to my boy LL. LL, Kanye.
Okay.
This thing. Let me think, so I don't leave anybody else out. LL, Kanye. So I got 3 more, right?
You got 3 more.
Okay. I might have to go with. You got some good ones. Let me see. I'm feeling a little Scarfacious too.
Scarface, okay. Shout out to Scarface. That's my man. Scarface got me through life, man. Yeah, he was spitting that real.
Yeah,
when
I was in
I was in a low place. He was my spirit angel.
And because the latest and greatest and has a huge body of work and breaking all kind of records. I got to throw Drake in there now in the top 10.
Okay. All right.
So I got Kanye, Scarface, LL, Drake, and let me see. I got room for one more.
Let's get a lady in there. Come on.
Yeah. Let's get it. I would have to. It's like a 3-way tie for me with the ladies.
Okay, well, this is unprecedented, but go ahead.
Yeah. Oh God! That's a 4-way tie.
Shit.
I want to. I really like, obviously, I came up with Foxy, but Nicki Minaj was able to take that that torch.
Yeah, Nicki's killing it.
And rhyme for rhyme, she might be one of the best on the female side. True rhyme for rhyme. You can't forget Lauryn Hill and obviously Little Kim. But rhyme for rhyme, she might have taken a torch.
So we doing a Foxy, Kim,
yeah, because
Nicki.
she did a kind of like a female Jay-Z thing. She kind of took what kind of Kim and Foxy did, incorporated everything, nonstop work, and just went ham. Even when she's on songs with Lil Wayne and Drake, she's holding her own. Those are some of the great ones. Lil Wayne.
You going to 20, man?
Yeah, I might have to go to 20. There's some good ones in that second chapter.
Yeah, no.
But those are my top 10.
That's dope. Listen, man, I know we could talk all day. Because there's a whole hip hop side of you that I want to get into. But you know what? I'm not going to do that. But I am going to ask you this question. When the Jay-Z Nas stuff happened, how did you feel about that situation?
It was kind of a difficult time for me because I was working with both camps, so it was like somewhat of a separation because it was hip hop. It was hip hop though.
Yeah,
it was almost like LL and Kumo D.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
Wow. Yeah.
So remember that? Those were kind of like two big giants going at it. LL tore his head off.
Oh, come on.
Like he did everybody else that ever came at him.
Why would you say that? Now, I'm not... Okay, I am unbiased. I don't want no smoke. But tear his head off, that's a strong word.
He tore his head off. He never came back. He never came back. He probably started doing Wild Wild West. He started doing
man.
He went fucking left and out the game. And he tore him apart. And LL became greater. And he became, I don't know what he started.
We're going to have to edit this because I don't want no smoke from LL or Kumo D.
And his style wasn't the kufi with the big glass.
Yo, you just had a drink. See, you go ahead. Let me stop you right now.
And I ain't trying to diss homie, but that ain't how niggas were trying to look. Right?
Yeah, no, I hear.
Niggas was not trying to be. But
let me say this.
Niggas was trying to be ladies love Cool J. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm
just keeping it all the way funky.
Let me cut you off though, because Kumo D.
I wanted a big rope.
Kumo D started battle rap when he battled Busy B.
Yeah, I remember that.
He actually started the whole shebang came from Kumo D. He went in the bathroom and wrote rhymes and came out and battled Busy B.
I remember.
So we can't. I
remember at the Fever and Broadway International. I mean, I'm a student in the game. Like I remember Busy B, Starsky, the bar, the bar, bitty bitty bar.
Right.
Dang, the dang, diggy diggy. So I'm all the way there with you, but you gotta give it up.
I do. I know I do. No,
like
LL.
He's slick at the tongue, man. He was able to, like Cannabis. He's gone.
Oh my God.
He just finished dudes. He finished them.
I'm not going with you. I'm not rock. I can't go down that road with you.
They just got old fast. Like the great ones, they still look young.
Not going down there with you. I'm gonna save you from you right now.
Okay.
Because Cannabis is still doing it. He got a fan base that's crazy right now.
You're not serious, are you?
He does. He really
Cannabis.
does.
You're not serious.
Look, that's my man.
Okay.
LL's my man. Mo D's my man. I'm Switzerland. I love everybody.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
You're being politically correct. I'm not. Cannabis got smoked and eaten up, and so did Kumo D. Smoked.
Say what you will.
Smoked.
Say what you will, man. I'm not doing that with you. Hip hop, 50 years old next year. 50 years old. It's been magnificent, man. I mean, you're a living testimony. You know, Bun B is selling burgers. Mia X is doing soul food. Styles P is doing drink,
wellness and the shakes and the juices. Yeah. The juices for life.
We've come so far as a culture. You know, from your point of view, how do you feel about the culture of hip hop turning, 50?
It's amazing. I mean, I couldn't be here without hip hop.
Yeah.
I'm from the streets of Brooklyn. Hip hop saved my life. It gave me a way out. A lot of the people that are now my friends and just last night, like Dougie Fresh was in here. I'm like, bro, I had you on my wall. Like now we're like friends. We're cool. Like you flew to Barbados to do my 50th birthday, like on a strength because, he too is from he also him and his family is from Barbados, so it was a moment for him too. Yeah. So I'm really appreciative for hip hop and all the people like Russell Simmons, Andre Harrell, Kool Herc, all these people that kind of the pioneers that they built a $1 billion industry. They didn't even build a business. They built an industry that around that industry are all sorts of other industries that tag on to hip hop and use that hip hop culture. Yeah. Whether it's a restaurant that has a hip hop fluence, a clothing line that's inspired by hip hop, alcohol companies that, that's inspired by hip hop. So there's so many different ancillary companies and incomes that's created from the inspiration of hip hop, as we see, from the way we wear our hair to the sneakers that we wear to the jumpsuits, the tracksuits, the way we talk. Yeah, like it's all inspired by the culture. So I owe everything to hip hop. Like hip hop started everything for me. Saved my life. Gave me an outlet to make, money and manage other people and find people with talent and create a lane for myself through the talent of others. Like, hip hop is, the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. So Don Pooh, what's next? We talked off the mic a little bit. I don't know what you want to reveal, but what do you have?
Real estate development for me. We have a couple of projects that we're working on. Multi-unit, 100-unit buildings in a few different markets. Some may have, a restaurant component to the bottom, mixed use, but commercial use at the bottom. Residential at top, some affordable housing that I'm working on. More franchisor mindset businesses where I'm creating, businesses and companies within my company. So if I give someone a 5-store development deal, they now have a small company within my company. Right. So that's kind of like the, instead of providing jobs, I'm trying to build small companies underneath my company. Similar, I'm trying to do like what Russell Simmons did by having Violator, by having Murder Inc., by having, Rough Riders. They built $1 million companies underneath their company. Right. So I'm trying to take that same concept and apply that to the food business.
Nice. Man, I just want to say, man, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
You're an inspiration, truly.
Appreciate you,
definitely, man. And I wish you more and more success as time goes on.
Thank you, man.
Definitely.
Appreciate
Any last words? Any final words?
Oh, man. Thank you all, hiphop.com, for having me. It's been a long time. It's been 20-something years since I had a spotlight. I should have brought the article.
You keep saying that.
Yeah, they did a spotlight on me back in the days. I forget what.
You've been
who
on
was
all
with-
hip hop since then, just not an interview.
I think so, but it was a little spotlight and that was kind of dope that they did.
Okay.
I think they might have mentioned when I had
Yeah.
launched something or opened something.
Mia X said something similar too. She said we helped jumpstart her food career
Oh,
by
dope.
featuring her recipes and stuff on the site.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys reach a wide audience of real hip hop, the real hip hop generation. So it's good because this is who I am. This is part of my DNA.
Mm-hmm.
And all my business is inspired by, all the energy and all the determination that we had to get out of the situations that we were in. So, thank you for sticking in there 25 years. Happy 25th anniversary. And, just keep doing it. You keep inspiring people and companies and other companies to want to go 25 because a lot of people have been one and done, two and done, four and done.
Yeah.
So, for you to just stand the test of time, that says a lot. You probably hired a lot of talented people. You got hip hop in your veins.
Yeah.
So that means a lot. It's not something you just doing for the money, right? So we have the success a lot of times because we're passionate about it. Then and if you're passionate and good at it, you're determined, all the money's gonna come later.
That's a fact.
But you're doing it because you love to do it.
That's
so
a fact.
that's dope.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, bro.
Yeah. I'm gonna start doing it for the money now. That I seen you pull up in that Rolls Royce truck.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Shout out.